Believe it or not, it's already time to pre-register for classes you would like to take for the 2016-17 school year. If you pay attention for the next several minutes, you will be better equipped to know what classes to pre-register for, as well as what you may need for graduation. There are several issues to consider, and we want to make sure you're aware of each. We're often asked if pre-registration even matters. I want to assure you it does. We want to make sure we create a master schedule that offers classes when you need them. In order to do so, we have to know what classes students want to make sure there are as few conflicts as possible. For example, if several students write on their pre-registration form that they want to be in both AP English Language and Advanced Drama the Spring Musical, we'll do our best to make sure they're not scheduled at the same time. If your form is not accurate, we may create conflicts for you simply because we didn't know they existed. When possible, we make space in classes based on the number of students that selected a course. If you don't have a course listed on your pre-registration form, there may not be space for you in that class. Making sure your pre-registration form accurately lists the class you would like to take is critical. For each year of high school, there are specific classes you should include in your schedule. This list includes classes you should take or consider taking your sophomore, junior, and senior years. Each year you need Bible, English, and history. You may have applied for honors, AP, or arts classes. If so, you will hear whether or not you were accepted on March 21st. Please do not turn your pre-registration form in until you know for certain. The same is true for math recommendations. They will be emailed home on March 21st. If you have any questions about what math class is the best fit for you, do not turn in your pre-registration form until you receive this information. Forms with blank spaces will be returned to you. Again, an accurate form is extremely important. When you're deciding what electives to include in next year's schedule, don't forget graduation requirements in your selection. For clarification, each full block course at King's is worth 2 credits. So you need 2 credits of a career concentration course. This includes all technology, business, and marketing, and some arts classes. 4 credits of Spanish or an outside foreign language. If you're taking a foreign language outside of King's, keep in mind it must be 2 years of the same language. 2 credits of a fine or performing art. 6 credits of math and 6 credits of science are required for graduation. We highly recommend that you take 8 credits of each, as colleges around the country are looking for strong academic candidates who include additional math and science in their course selection. Keep in mind chemistry and a form of Algebra 2 must be taken before graduation. You need 4 credits of PE. 2 of those credits were taken your freshman year. You must take an additional class unless you're involved in a sport. Participation in a sport waives this requirement. If you participate in a sport outside of King's, a waiver application must be completed and turned in to your counselor. If you will be a sophomore or junior next year, you'll want to consider the courses you plan to take your senior year and what prerequisite those classes require when filling out your current pre-registration form. For example, if you know you want to take AP Biology your senior year, you must be sure that anatomy is part of your junior year schedule. State colleges in Washington require that you have a math or algebra-based science, which are chemistry or physics, in your senior year, unless you've taken pre-calculus. If math and science are not your strong subjects, you'll want to look ahead to make sure you can meet this requirement if needed. It might mean that you save chemistry for your senior year or pace yourself in math courses. If you have questions about what the right choice for you is, stop by and talk with Mrs. Matthias or Mrs. Urey. The goal is to keep the big picture planning in mind when choosing your classes. When choosing courses, also make sure you look closely at the requirements and prerequisites. Here are a few. If you applied for Abundant Life or Living Faith, you'll receive information regarding admission on March 21st. If you're in Abundant Life or Living Faith, you'll need to participate in 1 term of Flex Block Choir. You'll need to participate in choir during the term you are not in Abundant Life or Living Faith. When your math recommendation is sent to you, you must pre-register for the math course you're recommended for. We do double check. If you want to register for a course other than what you're recommended for, you will need to complete a waiver and attach it to your pre-registration form. AP English language students must take the AP Language Review in the spring Flex block. This makes sure you're prepared for the May AP test. This is also true for AP Physics. If you register for the course, you must take the AP Physics Review in the spring. If you are in both of these classes, don't panic. Just note this on your pre-registration form, and we will work with you. There's a list of classes on the back of the pre-registration form as well as on the OneDrive link emailed home. All of those that have an asterisk next to them have prerequisites. Be sure to read the course descriptions if you have any questions. We're adding some new courses for next year. We're excited to be offering band or beginning guitar. We need your feedback to help us select which course would meet the needs of our student body. So if you are interested in either, please select one on your pre-registration form. This is a great opportunity to be part of school spirit and help set the musical tone for the 2016-17 school year. Please talk with Mr. Hendricks if you have any questions. Statistics is a great addition for students who are interested in collecting, analyzing, and drawing conclusions from data. This class involves planning and conducting a study, exploring patterns, the use of probability and simulation, and inferencing based on this classroom work. The prerequisite for statistics is completion of Honors Algebra 2 or Algebra 3. Talk with Mrs. Swenson if you have any questions. Let's take a minute to talk about filling out the pre-registration forms. First, we will focus on next year's sophomores and juniors. To begin, you will choose between the required courses already listed, for example, between English 11, AP Language, and Honors English 11. You will then need to fill out all of the elective spots available. Include math and science, remembering to look ahead to your senior year. Will you take up math or algebra-based science in your senior year? This may guide your math and science choices for 10th and 11th grade. Also be sure to consider what you still need for graduation. Have you had a career concentration course, Spanish, a fine art? Do you play a sport at King's or do you need another PE class? The most confusing portion of the pre-registration form is classes that are during Flex and only run half of the year. You may not have any of these. Your Flex block class may run all year long. If you choose courses listed in the box in the back of this form, you'll need to make sure you have a fall class and a spring class listed on the same line. Here's a sample of courses that run half the year each. You'll find them by visiting the OneDrive link or looking on the back of your pre-registration form. Let's take a look at a few samples. This student circled Bible 11, U.S. History, and AP English Language. Their elective choices are Pre-Calculus, Anatomy, Beginning Acting, Spanish 3, and Marketing. In line 9, this student decided to take SAT Power Prep in the fall and AP English Review in the spring. They must be listed on the same line. If they aren't, you'll only have a Flex block class for half of the year. Here's a sample where the student doesn't want any classes that run half the year long. One of the courses they choose will most likely run all year during Flex. Here's a sample of sophomore schedules with no half-year classes during Flex. Here's a sample that does have 2 half-year courses listed, Film and SAT Prep. Although we'll do our very best to create a schedule that meets the needs of all of our students, we can't guarantee that you will get every elective you request. An accurate pre-registration form is the best way to help. Be sure to pay attention to the parent signature, student signature, and clause at the bottom of your pre-registration form. Now let's look at senior pre-registration forms. To begin, you will choose between the required courses listed, for example, between English 12 and AP Literature. You will then need to fill in all of the elective spots available. Think through what classes you need for graduation. You received a list when you met with Mrs. Uri earlier in the year. Make sure all of the courses you needed for graduation are on your pre-registration form. The top portion of your pre-registration form is pretty straightforward. You choose from the required classes listed, as mentioned, and then select 4 full block elective classes. Elective options are listed on the back of your pre-registration form and on the OneDrive link that has been sent to you. The trickiest portion of this form is picking Flex block classes. Seniors, please pay close attention to this. Look at the bottom portion of your pre-registration form. If you need speech, you will choose one row to complete, A, B, C, or D. Look at which row you would like to have speech in. This is the row you will complete. You will only complete this row and none of the others. If you'd had mock trial or mock trial foundations, or if you participated in Ethics Bowl, you do not need speech. You will use row E. Simply fill out what you want for each semester. Let's look at a few examples of this form. Here's an example of a student who chose speech first semester and C.S. Lewis for the rest of the year. Here the student chose a late arrival first semester, speech second semester, and studio art third and fourth semesters. In this example, a student has already fulfilled the speech requirement by taking mock trial. They have asked for psychology during the fall flex and AP physics review during the spring flex. In this final example, a student has already fulfilled the speech requirement. They want to continue in mock trial and have listed it on line E. Here are a few ideas of how you can fill flex block. Line 1. You may choose speech semester 1, the first 9 weeks of school, and take C.S. Lewis the rest of the year during flex. Line 2. You may take speech semester 1, have a late arrival semester 2, and take half a year elective for the second half of the year. Remember, classes that run half of the year are listed on the back of your pre-registration form. For almost all flex block classes, you must attend the first portion of the class, which is semester 1 for fall classes and semester 3 for spring classes. It rarely works to hop in halfway through a class. Line 3. You may start the year with a late arrival, take speech second semester, and have a half-year flex block class semesters 3 and 4. Lines 5 and 6. You may choose to begin the year with a fall flex block class. You could have speech either semesters 3 or 4. Line 7. A C.S. Lewis student may also choose speech fourth semester. Keep in mind, you do not have to take a late arrival. There are many options. If you're running into conflicts, just set up a time to talk with Mrs. Uri. We're now ready to talk to everyone about the final details of this process. Pre-registration forms must be turned into the main office by Friday, March 25th at 3 p.m. If your form is late, you will be registered last for classes. This means classes you might want could be filled, so make sure your form is turned in before the deadline. Remember, all application decisions, including AP, honors, and arts courses, along with math recommendations, will be emailed to you on March 21st. Be watching for these emails and please wait to turn in your form until you have these decisions. This will help make certain your pre-registration forms are correct. Just a reminder, a link to this presentation, along with pre-registration form, class descriptions, and math waivers will be emailed home today. Please review this information. If you still have questions, make an appointment with Mrs. Matthias or Mrs. Uri. We're happy to help with clarification and planning, so stop by anytime. Thanks for listening and have a great day.